Hey everyone, welcome to KO.
I'm Kiefer.
And I'm Ollie.
And this is our first video.
Yay.
What is KO? It all started in September 2021 where a young Kiefer and Ollie started university. It was clear from the start we had very different art styles, but we had an appreciation for each other's work.
In our final year of university, we began to work together because we found that we could motivate each other to improve and make our best work possible. One of our favourite activities is to sit in the pub and draw.
But one day we did an experiment which you will see later on in this video. This gave us the grand idea to create KO, an official collaboration between our artwork.
This first video is not a tester, but a tester.
Basically an unprompted tester.
Yeah, this is the drawing that gave us the idea to do this channel. We probably covered that on the thingy that you just saw. But yeah, we were sitting in our favourite pub, really bored, and we were looking through some of Kiefer's like undeveloped sketches.
Yeah, sketches that I meant to do up and just never got to.
We will show you the original sketch now. What it's going to be in future, like with future videos, is us drawing these live. We're going to do these once a month, we think, and then you can join in if you want.
Yeah, so once a month we're going to take the time to do one of these joint images. We'll both take them home and do them up in our styles. But obviously we have two different art styles, which means that we'll both come out with completely different illustrations.
Very.
A lot of the time mine will be a lot more serious.
Mine can be serious.
The fact you're laughing as you're saying that.
I can do serious things if I want to, but I decide to take the light-hearted route a lot of the time. Or
You
just
take-
like really cursed.
You take the light-hearted route whenever you're drawing over my sketches because you know it annoys me.
Yeah, it's quite funny really to see his reactions. You'll see.
Yeah. So, what we want from you lot is take the original sketch that we both make, obviously meaning the joint illustration, and we want you to draw what you see in it.
Obviously with this one, we'll have already finished it by the time this video comes out. But if you still want to, do this one, you can.
Yeah, and what will happen will be we'll show a bunch of them on the next video, and we will pick the best. We don't know what we're going to give you yet as a prize. Might just be the illustration, well, either of our illustrations, depending on which one you want, or both, your choice. But yeah, you send your drawings in, we'll pick the best one, or best 5, we don't know yet.
We'll see.
Yeah. And yeah, just enjoy the video. So,
Go on then.
as previously said, I did a sketch. It's one that I've had in the works for ages and just never got around to doing up. There ain't really much to say about it because, as you will see, Ollie turns into something else.
Yes, and it's beautiful. This thing, I didn't see it how it was supposed to be. What I did see was this.
I hate you for doing that.
I know. I ended up seeing like a bird beak and then a kind of a human body. Don't ask what's going on around the crotch area. I don't know.
I choose to not acknowledge that.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Ollie did their rough illustration over the top of it.
Yeah, it was like just to map out what I saw from that.
And I added to it. So I decided to add a bunch of
Lines.
line work,
Lines.
comic shading,
Lines.
because that's my
Lines.
style, as you'll see later on.
Lines.
I like adding a lot of black to my drawings,
And lines.
and just it was something I was learning at the time. So bear in
And of
mind.
course this is just sketchy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because it was done like really quick.
yeah, this sketch was probably done in half an hour tops.
Yeah, most of that half an hour was just laughing. Well,
And
me
drinking.
laughing, you crying internally. I did the colour because I had a very specific colour in mind.
I did the colour because
I
I
did
had
the
a very
colour.
specific colour in mind.
Yes, so this is the colour and I absolutely love it. Yeah, and of course I turned it into like a big thong situation with a glittery thong, pretty much, bright pink, and yeah, you hated that even more.
I still hate it.
Yes. Yeah, obviously there's some things on here that it's like, what actually is going on still, such as the feet situation. We ended up taking that differently. So who's going first?
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Best of three or just one go?
Best of three.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. There you go.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. I won. Right, I'm going first. So, because I won the rock, paper, scissors, I'm going to show you my time lapse first, and then the finished piece, and then you will go after because you lost.
So here we're starting my version of the bird. Of course, right now it does not look anything like it. I really struggle with drawing anatomy-based things, so this was a bit of a challenge for me, but, you know, I kind of just go with it until something happens. As you can see, it took a lot of attempts to look somewhat decent. On these voiceovers, Kiefer normally does like really in-depth stories. I don't know the story of this guy. He just exists, and he's a bit weird, just like me. Yeah. I guess if I was to give him a story, it could be like he lives in this society of bird people, and he was seen as like the ugly duckling situation because he has really tired eyes. But little did everyone know, he was so tired because he spent all night working out and learning to pole dance, which takes a lot of skill. And everyone was like, you're such a silly bird. And then one day, he followed his dream and danced on a stage. And everyone was in disbelief because they were like, oh my goodness, it's the ugly bird. The tired bird. And then all these other birds were like, you know, it's actually kind of cool. Maybe we shouldn't have been so mean to this bird. Maybe he was so tired because he's so cool, learning his true passion. And I think there's a lesson there for everyone. Follow your dreams. Do what you want to do. And make sure you be your true, authentic self, no matter what anyone tells you. I hope you enjoyed my little story. Anyway, I'll pass you over to Kiefer.
My name's Chloe Ramirez, and considering I live on a planet where I'm technically the size of an ant, it's a fair assumption that I would be afraid of the local wildlife, but even still, you'd be mistaken. You see, on the planet Panterica, a world where you can ride on the backs of ants as though they were horses, and the majority of the wildlife would be classed as colossal if placed on Earth's surface, which has given the planet the nickname of Kaiju Earth. It's a fair nickname considering the planet does look similar to Earth in every way imaginable. The only difference, and it is a big one, is that everything is at least 1,000 times the scale of what it would be on Earth. To the creatures here, the cities we have built are small forests, and the skyscrapers rarely reach the height of the tallest trees. But still, 3 generations in and the people in charge continue their scaremongering, claiming the kaiju actively want to wipe humankind off the face of the world. The truth is, I love studying the creatures as they pass by, and through reading about the animals of Earth, I've come to the conclusion that the kaiju of Panterica aren't that different. They aren't really that interested in the destruction of our cities or the deaths of our people. They see us in the same way we saw insects on Earth. We are way too small for the majority of the creatures to even notice us, and they very rarely acknowledge us at all. This is why I'm not scared to live here. I mean, sure, I wouldn't particularly want to be trodden on or crushed by one of these animals, and I do see it as justified if people are scared, but in my opinion, I'd much rather if they continued to live alongside us as they currently do, rather than starting to actively hunt our cities down and turning them to ash. Believe me, they could do this. Now, while I believe that the animals aren't an issue, I do think there is an issue on Panterica. Recently, an election was held to choose a new president. With there being less than a few cities on the planet, this president would be in charge of all people living on its surface, and it was between Troy Duncan, a muscular-built, stern military man, and Ernest Highwater, a slim, calm and collected man of science. From that point I knew who I wanted to vote for. At least, I would if I wasn't 17 and under the legal age to vote, which frustratingly is 18. Both were going back and forth on current issues within the cities and talking about how they would solve them, issues such as water filtration, pest control and better housing for the poor, but it didn't really kick off until the topic of defence came about. Troy clearly had one point he was desperate to push, which was the creation of lab-made kaiju under the close eye of the military. He spoke passionately and claimed that we needed to create our own monsters to protect ourselves from the natives. Ernest argued against this, as he would, considering the fact that there weren't regular attacks, otherwise it wouldn't have been too unjust of a suggestion, which is why what came next is so troubling. In recent months, the streets have been chaos. A week after the debate happened, a mid-sized kaiju had needlessly started attacking our city. I was in the street when it happened. I heard the squelching like thick clay falling onto the asphalt, getting closer and closer to my location from behind me. The ground beneath began to shake, and car alarms echoed through the city. Louder and louder the noise grew until I saw the beast. One hand clutched to the edge of a skyscraper, body appearing from around its corner. A towering turquoise beast with a bird's head and slime for hands and feet. Why was it here? What's it doing? Am I about to die? In that moment, I found myself paralysed. What was I supposed to do? Was it like that scene from Jurassic Park? Could I move, or would it only leave me alone if I stood still? But even in fear, I knew that no matter how far I ran, this thing would catch up to me in 2 steps. To have moved in that moment could have been the right move, but because of what it is, I wouldn't get very far. I was going to lose my life that day. But surprisingly, I didn't. A few moments passed and the shock on my face turned to intrigue. This wasn't normal behaviour, especially for a kaiju. And even stranger was the fact that in the 17 years I had been alive, this creature had never made an appearance outside the walls. So, what was it? And how did it get here without anybody bringing it up or sounding an alarm? I scanned the creature, taking every single detail of its grotesque physiology to memory. It didn't look like any of the animals from around the area, any of the kaiju that I knew lived close. But still, I desperately scanned through my thoughts, hoping that I knew something about this animal. Hoping that what I was currently contemplating was wrong. Was this a man-made kaiju? I stared, terrified at the thought, but saw that its eyes weren't even on me. It was looking for something or someone, I thought to myself. Then in the corner of my eye, I hadn't even realised, I saw Ernest Highwater stepping from the back seat of a sleek black car. He was shaking and was cautious when exiting the vehicle. I turned around to get a better look and saw the glint of light on his cheek, where a droplet of sweat had rolled down his face and the setting sun had caught it. He stood there for a moment, I can only assume going through the same thoughts as I had been, before whispering to himself, "Troy, what have you done?" As soon as I heard those words leave his mouth, my eyes shot back towards the creature. Its eyes were wide, and saliva began pouring from its open crimson beak. It was fixed, its eyes unwavering, tilting its head and hissing slyly. Ernest didn't stand a chance as he turned on his heels and ran towards the opposite side of the road, away from the creature. It screeched loud and high enough that the glass erupted from all the windows and shattered to the ground in huge shards. 2 large wings tore through the steel beams of the skyscraper on either side, and its feet left goo-filled craters in the asphalt. Cars were flung into the air or flattened with civilians inside of them. Other civilians either hung or fell from the gaping holes in the buildings, and then, as if it couldn't have gone any worse, the top floors of each building collapsed to the ground. I dived out the way into the nearest alleyway as the creature ran past. A few shards of glass tore gashes into my arms and legs, but I otherwise got away unscathed. I fell to my knees, shaking in shock, tears and sweat rolling down my face, asking myself what had just happened. What should I do? Did I actually just survive that? My vision became blurred, as I faded in and out of consciousness before I myself collapsed to the ground. I find myself telling you this because I don't want to be the only one in the know about this plot. It's clear to me now that Troy Duncan has somehow managed to convince a geneticist to create kaiju for the military and has now used them to turn more people in favour of him, further continuing this venture of his. Since that attack, there have been 12 others, all from kaiju that have never previously been seen in the locations they have attacked, and I doubt we'd find them anywhere on the planet. Please, Marcus, will you help me?
So, you've seen the finished pieces. We hope you like them.
They're very interesting, very different.
If you lot can come up with a name for the character, it can be 2 different names for each of the versions.
Because
but
they are very different.
very different.
Yeah. Unless, like, maybe, I don't know your story yet, but maybe yours just had a very interesting change of, like, you know, their life changed a lot, and then they ended up going down a different career path, and that's how they ended up dancing on a pole in a club.
Kaiju nightclub sounds interesting to me.
Ooh.
Don't you dare.
Oh, maybe we could do something with that.
I do not want to imagine Godzilla wearing a thong.
Oh my god! Okay.
Or Kong in a bra.
Okay, this may be future videos.
It will not.
Yeah, it will be.
No
Kaiju
way.
nightclub.
It's not happening.
Yeah, it is. It's happening. It is.
It's not, because I know for a fact you're going to stick Attack on Titan in there somewhere.
I didn't even think! Stay tuned for that video.
It's not coming for a while.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work because we're going to do like all of them. Maybe we could do a series like making the different ones, and then in the end we can put them all together in a nightclub. Yeah, if you want to see more from us as well, we do have our own channels that we're starting. We haven't posted properly in a while, but we're going to be starting them again soon.
Yeah.
As well as this. So if you miss these, because it's going to be once a week uploading, I'm going all over the place here.
The self-promotion went bad.
Yes.
So if you want to go to my channel, you can see more stories. If you want to go to Ollie's channel,
You can see more weirdness.
and weird art challenges and stuff.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I'll just do what I feel like on there, and same with you, really.
Yeah, I suppose I want to do the stories, so...
Yeah. Yeah, so there'll be links in the description so you can see them and everything. It'll be fun.
Enjoy!
Yay! Anyway, let us know whose was your favourite, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Why are you talking like David Attenborough? Yes.
Yes, the picture is...
A bird, but this bird is quite unusual. It has a bright pink glittery thumb, and it is huge with human feet.